Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for this weekly question and answer video. I want to welcome new subscribers, new viewers. Thank you for joining us today. I'm answering people's questions from last week. I do this every single Monday. And I encourage all of you to please ask as many questions as you can. Try to understand and learn what happened to you and your trauma. The more we don't understand, the more shame it causes. So learning about all of this really can help. I made a video last Friday that if you guys have been a victim of narcissistic abuse, you might find that informative and beneficial. I was hoping that it would alleviate some shame for you guys, understanding what happened and what's going on now with you guys. So many side effects from this stuff, being anxious and depressed, and also losing our attention span and memory, even some of our functions and bodily control. So understanding that there is a disorder that you might have, or it might be on that spectrum, might help you understand that it's not all your fault, and that you have something that you need to take care of and give attention to heal from, okay? So, I don't think I've recommended Shane's Law petition in a while. I'd like to do that again. I've been a full supporter of this. Shane was a victim of a really nasty, bad smear campaign from a narcissist. And sadly, he took his own life. Something that happens very frequently with victims from narcissistic abuse. And someone started a petition in his name called Shane's Law Petition. And it's to form new legislature to stop this kind of attacks. And with social media such on the rise, this has gone way out of control. I see it all over the place, everywhere, and it's just disgusting, and it ruins people's lives, and they'll take their own lives. So if you could, please support Shane's Law Petition by going right down into the description box down there. You'll see Shane's Law Petition. Please just follow that link and check it. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are in the world. It'd be really appreciated. It's been growing ever since I've been doing this. Gosh, I think 3-4 years now. And it has really grown. So something might happen from this. And I appreciate all of you guys who have supported that. Thank you. So I like to recommend something to you guys every week. Something that helps with trauma, with abuse, neglect, if we have PTSD or different forms of this, and to have us have better lives. So this week I want to recommend something called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the chief neurotransmitter of the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the autonomic nervous system that contracts smooth muscles, dilates blood vessels, increases bodily secretions, and slows heart rate. I have some more here. It's responsible for transmitting signals between your brain cells. It controls a number of processes that are important in memory, cognition, learning, and other aspects of higher brain functions. Low levels of the neurotransmitter can be increased by the right acetylcholine supplement. And so, let's see, what else do I have about this here? So basically, it's a neurotransmitter. It's a chemical that is in your body. And your autonomic nervous system is made up of your parasympathetic nervous system and your sympathetic nervous system. Think of your sympathetic nervous system as being reacted to fear, danger, threat, stuff like this, stress, okay? And it encourages, and this is much by the amygdala, that will send messages to release stress chemicals for you to fight or flight. For many of you who have had these kinds of relationships in your adulthood, I strongly believe you did in your childhood. This might be something that has been affecting you since childhood. This kind of prolonged damage, this kind of prolonged stress, rather, causes damage to our brains. And so the sympathetic nervous system will react too much from all of our stress because we're not fixing it, because it's continuous in our lives. And we will constantly have these stress chemicals, hence anxiety and not sleeping well, things like this. And actually your amygdala swells. And the parasympathetic nervous system activates our prefrontal cortex, and so that it gives us the feel-good hormones that we need to feel better, to calm ourselves down. However, prolonged exposure to stress and danger and threats, like we have been through, will actually shrink this part of our brain. So we're not receiving these. This is also where this acetylcholine takes place, and I don't believe we're getting enough, maybe none, okay? And this is why we're having problems with concentration, memory, and focus. So I found a supplement on Amazon, of course, and it's Amazon's choice. It's the main ingredient, acetylcholine, and it says natural stacks acetylcholine supplement, 60 count, faster thinking and memory support, powerful fast acting formula with alpha GBC, choline, and white peony extract, stops brain fog, yeah? I'm sure you guys all know what that is. And so this is not cheap. I found one for $35.96 because it's got the best feedback. There are cheaper versions available. Feel free to look for yourself. I'm going to put the link to this down in the description box for you guys if you're interested, or you want to go look it up and see what it is, see how it spell it, so you can see and do the research yourself if you want, okay? All right, so let's get into the questions right away. Good questions. I narrowed them down to, I think, 7, something like that this week. So first one's from Shelly from Oregon. Hi, Shelly. Good to see you again. I feel I just made a big mistake of bringing it up to my mother that I never felt safe around my father, and that he was physically and verbally abusive to me, and that I was even worried about her and her safety being married to him. And she asked me, then why would you take his help? And proceeded to blame it on me, that I was a bratty kid and that I was difficult. The conversation ended okay, and we hugged it out, but now I'm worried that my telling the truth will backfire. Before I even get to your question, that's abuse, by the way, Shelly. Your mom's abusing you. You said the conversation ended okay and we hugged it out, but we didn't fix how she made you feel. How did that feel, Shelly? How did your mom, not your dad, not anybody else, how did your mom make you feel when she told you, then why would you take his help? And blamed you and said you were a bratty kid, that was difficult. That's not nice. And I can imagine, you know, try to think of how that would feel, but ask yourself how it felt, Shelly. And she's not allowed to make you feel that way. So what are you going to do about it? Hugging it out doesn't fix it, does it? Doesn't make it go away. I just wanted to add that your mom is with your abusive father, right? And so she's sick. He's sick. He abuses people. He abuses his own children physically and verbally, mentally and emotionally. And now she's doing it too to protect their marriage, to protect their codependent relationship. Your mom is a huge enabler, huge. I imagine she lost most of herself, sense of herself, and she's not able to be there for her child, you. And I imagine tons and tons and tons of neglect your whole childhood. These things, well, we need to fix that. You need to fix that. But really start to evaluate the relationship with your parents, especially, I mean, I don't know if you're talking to your dad anymore. This is a difficult thing to give advice to, because it's up to you, Shelly, if you want to continue that relationship with your parents, but they're not allowed to make you feel bad. They're not allowed to abuse you. So if you want to have a relationship with your parents, it must be on your terms. That's the only way it can be healthy. One thing I tell people or my clients is, what do you want from each of them? Answer that question with your dad, and then answer that question with your mother, and then ask yourself if they're capable of giving you all of that. If not, we have to accept this, and we start to grieve this loss of what we didn't get and what we're not going to ever get. And then you make a decision if you still want them in your life. Is there still something nice that you want to hold on to, that you want to keep with them? Then those are your terms, and that's all it's going to be, is that. So it sounds like you may not be able to share with your mother what your father's done. It sounds like you may not be able to get apologies from either of them. I don't know. Only you will know that, if it's worth it to you to try. Okay? I hope that helps. You said your question is, do you think it is ever a good idea to talk things out with your toxic parents? Because my mom said so herself, that it's a bad idea and will weaken the bond between the whole family. What a bond that is. What a bond, that we abuse each other and we're not allowed to say anything. That's quite the bond. It's called a trauma bond. It's called codependency, and that your mother is too afraid to be alone and by herself and holds on to this abusive, neglectful man. And now she's abusing and neglecting you. Okay, Shelley? Also, why do I keep trying to fix things? I feel like such an idiot now, but in the moment, I felt like the right thing. I'm sorry you feel that way. Don't call yourself an idiot, okay? You try to fix things because that's the family dynamic that you're in. That's the family you're in, and that's the dynamic of your family, okay? So since you know, there's no autonomy here. You don't have your dad and your mom and you're all enmeshed together, and everyone is dependent on these relationships, and so they ignore problems, and when there's fighting and all this kind of stuff, you try to make it better so that everyone keeps together like this. It's ridiculous. It's unhealthy. It's toxic. Shelley, my best recommendation is pull away from your family. Pull away from them. Because when we're in these things, it's much more difficult to see it, and it's much harder to have it on our terms. Take a break. Get some help. Talk to a professional that can help you see more and more and more of what's really happening, what's really going on. Start learning exactly who you are and what you need and how you feel, how to give yourself what you need, how to process emotions and make yourself feel better, because it doesn't look like they're going to help you do that. Matter of fact, I think you just pulling away, you're going to see a lot, because that will be a threat to them. They won't like that. I don't know where you fall in that dynamic, if you're some type of scapegoat or golden child, but it doesn't sound like the golden child. So that's my recommendation, Shelley. And I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell you what to do, because it's all on individual basis. It's all about you, Shelley, and what you want to do, and that's your choice to make, okay? So I would be very aware of much as you can and start being mindful of what you're doing. All of this stuff, it requires professional help. It really does. That's why you guys are asking me questions. You need help. And typically it's much more than anything I can offer right here, right now. Okay? I don't think it's a good idea to talk things out with your toxic parents when you get reactions like that makes you feel worse and shoves everything right under the carpet and tells you to shut up, Shelley. Just keep it all in here until you get cancer. Because that's what happens. We get disease from this kinds of stuff if it continues. Okay? If you're looking for an apology and you're not getting it, I'd stop trying. You know, we have a history of abuse and she's still doing it. So that's got to stop if you want them in your life. And how are you going to heal from the past abuse? You're not going to get any apologies, it looks like. You're not going to get any accountability. And you're not going to get reassurance that it won't happen again, because it will. So how are you going to deal with that if you want them in your life anymore? Okay? We don't owe anything to anybody, not even our family. And you know, I would really evaluate these relationships and ask yourself how they serve you, okay? I'm really sorry, Shelley. It's really sad to see and hear these kinds of things. I don't know if my answer helped you. Please let me know, and please keep asking more questions, okay? Good to see you again, Shelley. And Jennifer from the United Kingdom. Hello, Jennifer. Growing ourselves up at a later age. What advice do you have, David? And I'm not sure, Jennifer. I replied to all your questions and I don't get replies from them, so I don't know if you see them. I hope you're watching so you can at least hear my answer. Will you please let me know what you think? In growing ourselves up at a later age, what advice do you have, David? Well, for one, try to understand your past. And this will be easier to accept our own emotions and not feel so shameful, okay? One of the number one things that must happen is, if it were neglected in childhood, is we must have good self-awareness, really good. And this is always an ongoing thing till the day we die, and this is something everybody needs to constantly be aware of and build and get better at. So know exactly, the biggest things is know what you need, Jennifer. Know what your emotional needs are. Find those out, study them, and start practicing on how to meet these. Start expressing yourself and asking for what you want, stuff like this. We need good experiences, positive experiences, to start building some confidence. And communication is so vitally important. So always try to be a better communicator and boundaries. And that's what boundaries are. Boundaries are communicating where our comfort zone is with people in our life. I usually get people started on their values right away. What are the morals that you value the most? And put that on your list, and these are your standards. And nobody is allowed into your life until they meet your standards, meaning that they value the same morals you do. It takes an awful long time to know that. We take our time, we go slow, and these are all things you need to learn how to do, I'm sure. And then meeting our needs in these relationships, communicating, learning how to be vulnerable at the right times. Your parents may have taught you to be vulnerable all the time. Okay? There's way more than I could ever tell you right here, right now. And working with a professional, it's so beneficial because they understand, hopefully. They have advice and suggestions and things to start working on, and teaching you how to be more aware of yourself and how to communicate in relationships. If I have a client long enough, I like to kind of hold their hand. After they heal and learn a bunch of things, and then we start applying it to relationships, I like to kind of hold their hand and see how it goes and help them, okay? Thank you, Jennifer. Let me know what you think, please. Runs with Scissors Bear. Or I'm sorry, Christine from Montana. Hi, Christine. Was watching an old video you made where you described parentification. Wow, I believe I was parentified as a child, although I never knew it had a name. My narc matriarch made my older sister raise me when I was young. But she escaped when I was 11, so I was left on my own. My father was always gone and served only as a backup disciplinarian. I barely saw him unless I was being whipped for something, and the mother reported to him. Since he worked so much, I was in charge of the farm and all household and gardening chores. At age 12, I also got a job at a truck stop. Back in those days, it was not so strange to see a teen girl standing on a milk crate to pour beers, drop fries in a fryer, serve as a cashier, run out of the pump diesel, and then serve meals with filthy hands. Since I made my own money, I was financially able to buy school, clothes, food, gas, etc. until I graduated at 17 and joined the Navy. Wow, what a story. Wow, thanks for sharing this. In the summertime, I lived in an army tent in the backwoods with my dogs. In the winter, I lived in an old pull-up trailer in the barnyard. Sadly, I was quite bullied in school because I was only allowed to bathe in the house on Sundays and always smelled like livestock. The farm animals taught me far more how to be a good person than any human ever did. Curiously, the first thing that the mother said after I graduated boot camp was, "I forgot how to do laundry and your father ran out of underwear when you ran off." How very narcissistic to try to make me feel guilty instead of being proud of me. Any input? Yeah, I mean, just total dysfunction and codependency. Sad story. Sad story. I hope you're much better off now. You did so many good things for yourself at such a young age. Yeah, your parents are. They're sick. Just very codependent, very reliant on their own children. I would imagine just tons and tons of neglect. You didn't get what you needed. And can you ask me more specific questions just than any input? Ask me something specific today down there so I can answer them more for you. I hope you heard me answer the last person's question. That's some things you could start working on, but you said the animals have helped you far more than any humans. So start reaching out for humans more and start building more human relationships with people. Animals can't provide those things for you. And just so much to learn about ourselves, who we are, what we want, what we need, how we feel, our values and things like this. Be very, very aware of these things and learn how to meet your needs in relationships. Your parents are sick. They're very codependent, very reliant on each other and you. I would try to pull away from that family. I don't know if you really said much of how it is now, the dynamics now, but I would try to, create a little space with them until you learn how to have a relationship with them. What a story. I'm thankful that you shared that with us, Christine. Thank you. And I don't know if I gave you much input, so please ask more detailed, specific questions, please. Thank you. Emily from South Africa. Hi, Emily. And Emily, if you could not put so many spaces between every sentence and paragraph so that it's not this long, but it's more like that big, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you, Emily. So Emily's from South Africa. She's very sweet, very young. As always, thank you for your videos. You're welcome. Thank you. It was a while ago that I tried to tell them how I feel, parents, she's talking about her parents, because they will understand, as a previous therapist put it, so just as you can imagine, here is how it went. So your therapist said, tell them how you feel because they will understand. I don't know if those are exact words that you're quoting your therapist, but there's some real therapist advice coming from a person that just doesn't understand this stuff. I know enough about your parents from what you've told me, Emily, that it doesn't matter if they understand. They don't care. They don't care, Emily, and I'm sorry, but I got to be frank with you and brutally honest, because I know you're still in their lives and you are being traumatized and neglected probably on a daily basis, and you need to so badly get away from them. Your mother is extremely ill, extremely codependent, total enabler. She's totally lost herself, and she doesn't value any of the relationships that she has. They're all just dependent. It's like a drug addiction. It's like, I don't really value heroin and that it's ruining my life and my health, but I need it. And that's all this is. That's all it is. So let me go to the next page here, where the rest of this is. Your dad said, you always do this, don't you? I'm just trying to have a decent conversation, and there you begin again, accusing me of everything. I'm just having some difficulty trying to understand where you are coming from, and please feel free to help me out here. Why would you ever say something like that? What? It looks like you are speechless now. I can't believe you would actually say that, right, honey? To the mom ganging up on you. I did a good job with him, right? I see now she agrees with me. Well, ha ha ha, that's what you think. I think I did a fantastic job raising you. Gave you everything you could ever want. You didn't complain when I gave you money, right? I'm not like your mom, you know. Well then, tell me exactly how many times I should tell you I love you. Once a month, twice a month, I already told you I love you this month, so there you go. I never got that from my parents. If you think she was there for you emotionally, then you agree that we did a great job as parents. Or don't you appreciate everything that we have done for you? Okay, so you said you're sorry now. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry too. Your father can't be vulnerable. He's extremely insecure and totally abusive, totally won't take accountability, totally totally narcissistic, and just has everybody in his life be there for him, totally. And I'm really sorry, Emily. This is so sad to hear what's going on in your daily life. It's awful. I really hope you will get out of this family, honestly. And I would recommend staying away for a long time until you totally start finding out who you are and how to navigate through relationships before you ever try to go back to this. Because this isn't going to get better, I promise. I know that you're in your 20s, your parents are probably late 40s, 50s, something like that. It's not going to get better. I mean, the only thing you could pray for is they get a divorce and your mom figures out that, you know, who she is someday and starts taking some accountability. But your dad's not going to change. You know, and I don't know if your mom's going to change. I'm saying that's the only hope you have. But yeah. Mom only said, your mom, my mom only said, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? You can't argue with him. Everything just gets worse. You should just keep quiet and wait for him to cool down, and then he will come and apologize to you. No. And anybody that tells you what you should do, I mean, are you a little baby? No. So you don't need anybody, including especially your parents, telling you what you should do. They don't listen to you, Emily. They don't care how you feel, what you need, what you want, what you value. They tell you what you should do, and that's the total codependent family saying, please don't disrupt this. I need this, I need you, I need him, he needs me. Even though it's sick and disgusting and toxic and killing us and not providing anything beneficial at all. It's so toxic. Your father just, I mean, God, go down the narcissist list. No empathy, no total entitlement, no self-awareness. I mean, it's just, get away, Emily. Get away. Get out of there. You're not going to figure all this out while you're there. You're not going to get better while you're there. You're not going to have the relationship on your terms, both of them, while you're there. You're just not. So do everything you can to get away and off this farm, okay? And away from them and out of their grip so you can finally start learning who you are. because you can't like this. You haven't been able to express yourself, even pay attention to how you feel. Like one of the first people in today's video, self-awareness. Start accepting our emotions instead of ignoring them and numbing them. Okay? We got to start processing our emotions so we learn how to make ourselves feel better. Okay? I hope you get help, Emily, with this. I can't imagine doing all this alone. And if you want it to ever work with your parents, the only way it's going to work in the beginning is to get away from them for a while. Really, that's the only way. They're not going to listen to you, Emily. And it doesn't even matter if they totally see it all. I think they just don't care right now. Maybe they'll care someday in the future. I don't think your dad will. But we can't just keep waiting and hoping. Get out, get away from there, learn who you are so you can start giving yourself everything you need, everything you want, start feeling better, and start understanding what's been going on in your family your whole life and everything that you've missed out on and been neglected of. Okay, and start healing from all the pain they cause you. It's just daily. They're so nasty to you. I remember so many different questions and things you've told me, and it's just awful. It is. I'm really sorry. I hope the help that I've offered to you has helped. Thank you, Emily. Pope from Ireland. Hello, Pope. Screening before meeting you. That's funny. You're serious, but it's funny. Next woman I meet, if ever, I'll be doing the same secretly. No more feet first without looking in the water for sharks. Question. I count things a lot. Is that a comforting thing or just normal? Is there a terminology for that? Or is it just natural mind thing? Thanks, David from Ireland. Thank you, Pope. You said if you'll ever meet another woman, I'm sure you'll meet another woman. Meet them. If you're in a relationship with one again, I hope you give it yourself that opportunity, a chance again. And Pope's referring to doing background checks when we meet people, and you know that I think that adds a false sense of security. A lot of people don't have criminal records, and doesn't mean they're a good person. So what does that really tell you? Or a lot of people make mistakes in their past, and you're gonna judge them for it. People change and get better. If somebody broke the law and stole something when they were 20, are you gonna hold it against them at 40? So what good does a background check do unless you find out they're like a pedophile or something, or murderer? But we just take time to get to know people. You meet a woman, Pope, and you say, hey, I'll see you in a couple weeks again. I'll see you in a week. And they start saying, oh, no, I want to see you now. I love you. I'm telling you right now, everybody out there, you want to weed out toxic people, go slow. It works. They can't handle it. They can't do it. They feel rejected. They feel like they're so dependent and need you and need things from you. Right now, they're not going to wait. They're not going to take no. What's wrong with me? They won't do it. Maybe a psychopath will wait. But those are rare. We're talking about narcissists, borderlines, histrionic, and just toxic people in general. I mean, it so works. I do it all the time. Always with people. And I'll meet... I might meet a girl, a long time ago. I might meet a girl that I really, really like. She's pretty, she's nice, she's sweet, she's funny, she's fun. I really like how she lives her life and all this, but I don't know her at all. And she starts saying, David, I like you so much. I say, well, you don't know me. What part of me do you like? This? Because you don't know me. So you really, 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 really like me. And then she might start saying, I love you in 2 weeks, right? And I just go, no, please don't tell me that. That's kind of odd that you love me already. Why don't you get to know me, who I am? It's like looking at a book and saying, oh my God, dude, I love this book. I love it. It's the best book in the world right here. Have you read it? No. I can just tell by the title. Best book ever. No, you can't. No, you can't. And that's what people are doing, toxic people. So if you really want to weed them out, just go slow. Don't text them. No, I'll see you Saturday. I'll talk to you Saturday. Next Saturday. No, not this Saturday. Just start saying no. Really. Because healthy people like that. Healthy people will be like, oh, that's nice. Then they're kind of interested. Oh, wonder what I'm waiting for. It's like, it shows high self-worth. And we're only going to attract people that are like us. So start being the person that you want to be with. Okay? So your question, I count things a lot. Is that a comforting thing? Yes, I would say yes. These kinds of experiences that we have tend to really make us more obsessive. Right, guys? Compulsive and obsessive. And that's a major part. I've heard this many times. I did it. I used to do it. Just kind of count things and count time all the time and count steps. And I used to try not. I used to have like imaginary lines that I can't step on when I'm walking. Just real obsessive actions. And that's very, very common to be on that spectrum of obsessive compulsive. Okay? Hope that helps. Thanks, Pope. And Christine says, I understand how dealing with animals is helpful, but we still must figure out how to deal with humans. All love, dear one. And I love that comment. And Christina is replying to somebody else's comment. Last week I recommended adopting dogs or helping out shelters doing something like this. And she's so right. Because so many victims of this stuff, we isolate. Our brains make us isolate. And then we have pets. And I just hear this all the time. Oh, dogs are so much better than humans. Cats are so much better. No, they're not. No, they're not. And I don't want comments down there like that today, please, for once. I don't. I don't want people telling me how much better their pets are better than all humans. No, they're not. And that is antisocial as hell. I will donate my dog that I love more than anything to save one human's life. Because humans are more important than pets and animals. That's the way we're supposed to think and live. And if we're not, there's something wrong. And I see people sit at home and don't know a single person. They don't go out to meet anybody. They're scared to death. The brand says, don't do it. And they sit with their animals all day and think that it's just bliss. And it's not. It's not. You're hiding. You're hiding behind pets and in your home instead of meeting people, because that's what we need. If you think that's not true, take your pets, go live out in the woods all by yourself and have zero communication with society or a single person ever and see how that works out for you. I'll tell you, you'll die. You'll die. So all you're doing is living on the outskirts, just barely enough to stay alive, human contact, and you're not forming relationships and you're not getting the most important thing in your life, and that's your emotional needs, and you're not going to get emotional needs met by a dog or a cat. I promise. You can look it up. Okay? It is just vital that we start socializing and talking to people again. These problems are because we've had bad relationships. So we don't give up and stop. That's not the answer. That's what your brain's telling you. Your brain just wants you to stay alive. And there's much more to life and living than just staying alive. Okay? And I just really like this comment. I wanted to bring it up because I just see so many people's reactions. And I don't blame people's reaction. I don't blame you for your reaction. But I don't want you to go down there and encourage others to isolate, not form social bonds and interactions with people, and just sit at home all day with a dog or a cat. I recommend getting pets all the time because they will help you do things. They'll help you feel better and stuff like that, but it's not what we need. You're missing out tons of things that we need, most important to us. And if you're a human being, you're not different, okay? Because I can see already people going, well, no, I don't need them. David doesn't know. We're all different. Yeah, but we are human beings and we have emotional needs. They are number one in our lives, and we can only have them met by relationships with humans. Okay? Thanks, guys. Emma from Sweden. Hi, Emma. Thank you so much for all the work you do for all of us. Your CPTSD videos are so helpful, so thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for telling me. My parents neglected and abused me a lot in my childhood, which let me in the arms of a 10-year-old hell with my ex-husband. He were the love of my life, all I thought I wanted. Oh man, I was so wrong, but now I'm grateful. I've learned so much about myself, and never in my life will I let someone treat me like that again. I believe in myself again, and I'm now going to study to be a behavior knower. That's cute. English is Emma's second language. I would say, because you said don't know the word in English, I would say mindfulness. Awareness of who we are is self-awareness, and awareness of what we're doing and behaviors is mindfulness. But I will work with kids and learn and teach them about abuse and hopefully stop at least one person to use abuse to someone. Good. Just wanted you all to know that you can do it. I'm 36 years old and a mother of 4, and I just started living my life. It's never too late. Yeah, you're young. 36 is young. And That's great. This is beautiful. Thanks for sharing this, Mom. Thank you. And Mom makes mistakes, and that's okay. We just apologize to our children and we learn from them, and that is number one, Mom. Number one, Mom isn't perfect. No such thing. Or let's say perfect is Mom makes mistakes as she goes, and she apologizes to the children and reassures them, I won't do it again, and not do it again, right? And just become better and better Mom. So thank you, Emma. Thank you, everybody. I think that's it. That's it. If you guys could, please subscribe to my channel. If you think this is beneficial and you want to keep watching these videos, I really appreciate it. I need your support to keep doing this. Vote up or down. Tell me why down below. And keep asking questions, please. Let's learn as much as you can. This stuff is free. I'm offering this for free. So learn, take advantage and ask questions and learn what happened to you as much as you can. And I always encourage everybody to seek out professional help. Anyone that wants coaching, you can find me at daviddemars.com. The link is right down below. And always love yourself first. I'll see you guys next week. Try to have a beautiful week. Okay? Bye.